today?
Tu Doktor.
Okay.
Al-Fatihah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Segala puji bagi Allah Tuhan Pentadbir sekalian alam. Selawat dan salam ke atas Nabi Muhammad SAW, keluarga serta sahabat baginda. Ya Allah, kami mohon kepadamu umur yang panjang dan badan yang sehat, hati yang terang dan ilmu yang berguna, rezeki yang banyak dan halal, kebaikan yang dihampirkan, keburukan yang dijauhkan, keturunan yang beriman dan mendirikan sembahyang, kepemimpin yang amanah dan pintar, negara yang stabil, aman dan maju, hajat di dunia dan di akhirat yang tertunai, dosa yang diampun, iaitu dosa kami, dosa ibu bapa kami, serta muslimin muslimat, muminin dan muminat di seluruh dunia, ya Allah. Kehidupan di alam kubur tanpa azab, menuju ke syurga Firdaus tanpa hisab. Ya Allah, kami mohon perlindungan denganmu dari sifat malas, dari kemiskinan dan kekafiran, dan kefakiran, dari penindasan dan kekejaman manusia, dari bala, wabak dan malapetaka, dari kehilangan nikmat secara tiba-tiba, dari kematian yang mengejut, dari kemurkaan-Mu selama-lamanya. Segala puji Allah, Tuhan Pentadbir sekalian alam. Selawat dan salam ke atas Nabi Muhammad SAW serta sahabat baginda. Amin amin ya rabbal alamin.
Okay, thank you. Okay, today we will go to. Okay, stop sharing first. Okay, can you see the second slide? Or still the doa?
The slide, Doktor.
Second slide.
The
The
slide.
second slide, huh? Okay. Okay. Today, I think some of you start your methodology, but I have to give you example on how to do the methodology because different part of what you want to present in the conference paper will require different methodology. Okay. So this is about monitoring your progress as you have to submit by certain weeks. Okay, you should move on to write your methodology section, and of course during that, if you have to implement comparison and so on, it must be tally with whatever you want to write. Okay, so your work must be parallel. Okay, so one thing that you have to remember, writing the methodology section. Okay, so you have experience writing methodology chapter in FYP, final year project in your undergrad degree, and also last semester. Okay, however, for this semester, even though it is a methodology section, but it is not like your project proposal, your report. Okay, so what is the difference? Because in your report last time in the your proposal, the chapter 3 will describe all the processes for the whole research, for the whole project. Okay, for whatever you want to do for your project, you have to describe how you carry out your process. Okay, however, for scientific paper, what you have to write is actually related to what you want to present. Okay, so among all of you, I can conclude that there are 3 types of what you want to present. Okay, in your paper, some is about your literature review. You want to tell the scientific community that you have reviewed several methods or several techniques, several algorithms, and you have found that the best algorithm among all that you have examined to be suitable for your domain. For example, okay, for example, Nazim is about bird. Okay, so maybe you have discovered several techniques and you want to test which one is the best, and you want to show the results in your paper. Because of you are reviewing several techniques in your domain, in bird's domain, for example, so your approach in your methodology is actually more towards systematic literature review. Systematic LR. Okay, what is meant by systematic LR as opposed to your literature review chapter? Okay, later I will describe. Okay, so maybe some of you has some technique comparison. You have decided 3 algorithms, for example, suitable for your domain, but you are trying to see the performance, whether the performance, which one is better and so on. So that is about techniques comparison. Okay, so you can write your methodology based on methods to compare. Okay, and some of you might describe the architecture for your system, for example, for your proposed system in whatever domain. Okay, so there will be different methods to describe the architecture. So it's quite hard to distinguish between these two and to understand whatever. But I found materials so that I can give you example of if you want to do your systematic literature review in the methodology for your paper, you kind of can follow that paper on how they organize the structure of the methodology section. Okay, so here I have 3 samples. Okay, let begins with systematic literature review. Okay, so the title for the paper, systematic literature review. On what? On whatever, and then in and whatever. In whatever is your domain. Okay. For example, if for Nazim, because I remembered Nazim because he did something that is quite unique, that is birds. Okay, so for example, a systematic literature review on what? On image recognition algorithms in what? In classifying bird's image. I don't know what you did, what are you doing, but for example like that. Okay, so a systematic literature review might be the title of your paper. So if you plan to do this, this is a skeleton for your title. So you can have a systematic literature review, whatever, okay, in your domain. You can apply in your domain. Okay, so how to introduce the paper? Okay, because I found something that is nice, so I highlighted so that you can follow in your work. Okay, so how to introduce in the introduction? Okay, see how it is introduced. And okay, this is IEEE paper, because the way it is cited by using numbers. Okay, so this you describing your paper. So this systematic literature review aims to identify, analyze the model used to predict faults in whatever. Okay, that is how you introduce your paper. Okay, so you start with systematic literature review. Why is you start with that? Okay, that is what I call coherent. Okay, because your title is systematic literature review, so that's why you start with systematic literature review. Okay, the way you writing scientific paper is introducing something that is more into your domain. Even though, for example, Nazim is doing bird, he is not introducing bird first, because that is just the domain, but he's introducing what he wants to do for this paper. That is systematic literature review. Okay, in whether if you want to know what is actually the purpose of having systematic literature review, okay, so here I highlight why they did it. Okay, for example, okay, first and foremost, last time in your report, if you write we, our, I want to do this in your literature review, in your methodology, for example, in the introduction, I will cross it and say, do not use I equals to we, equals to you, whatever in the project report. Okay, but here in paper, yes. In paper, in scientific paper, in scientific conference and journal, yes, you can use first pronoun. So if you are doing with many people, you can put we or our project. If you are writing alone by yourself, okay, but it is not possible for this class because you have supervisor, at least you put your supervisor's name there. Okay, so we, if only you do on your own, so you said I. Okay. Okay, so what is the purpose of the systematic literature review? That is to enable researchers to develop prediction models based on best knowledge and practice across many previous studies. So our results also help practitioners to make effective decision on prediction models more suited to the context. Okay, for you, if you are doing literature review, not for anybody else, but for you to decide which algorithm, then you can alter that statement. Okay, our results enable us to select the best technique to whatever, to predict in whatever domain. Okay, so that is what I told you somewhere in many in some of the classes said that that you might keep a certain paper not because it's related to your project, but because of the words they use, because you want to learn how to write a proper way in scientific writing. Okay, so that's why I highlight that. So if you want to do systematic literature review, then you can use this as sample how to introduce your paper. Okay, and then the next one, in the introduction also, you have to identify why, how you want to select the papers. Okay, so you say why you need to do this type of review. So you say some people have done review before, so you state lah the whatever paper that you have learned that somebody else did some review. However, your review is different in terms of what? Okay, so these researchers said they are different from other people's work because they are analyzed in terms of time frame, in terms of systematic approach, comprehensiveness, analysis, and so on. Okay, so it's up to you what parameter you want to use. The weakest parameter is only one. Okay, differentiate. You differ from any people that doing literature review, systematic literature review for that subject. Only one parameter. It's okay because this is a coursework, but if you're doing masters by research or PhD, you need to come up with different more parameters. Okay, but for the purpose of this paper, if you have only one parameter different from others, yes, it's okay, it is publishable. Okay, so in that paper, of course, because you are digging literature review, so you have to have your research question to answer while digging. Okay, so now I want to you can read in the introduction what you should do, but right now in today's lesson is about methodology. So this is the methodology. Okay, those who want to write systematic literature review, please follow this methodology. It is not the best, but at least you have some method to follow, and you can cite that you follow systematic literature review as this paper. Okay, you can cite this paper. Later I will give this paper for you. Okay, so methodology. You have to have some introduction. Don't just jump to the section. Okay, remember this is not in our format. Methodology in our format is the third section. Yeah. So put there as 3 methodology. Okay, so you can introduce like this. We take a systematic approach to review literature on whatever you want to study, and systematic literature reviews are well established in whatever domain. So you can alter a little bit of this statement. And we follow systematic review approach identified by whatever chapters. Okay, so these researchers also refer this method from somebody else, but because he's using the method, you can say in your paper that you are following methodology by this researcher, and be part of your citation. Okay, but if you want to use chapters, kitchen ham and chapters, you have to read that paper, then only you can cite. Okay, don't put in your paper we follow methodology by kitchen ham and charters as written in this paper. Then it is a second person revision. It is not allowed in scientific writing. It is not good. Okay, if you read the paper, then you can use whatever they say. Don't use something in the paper that he quote from other people's work. That is becomes secondary citation, and it is not good to support your justification, your paper. Okay, so please avoid the research done by A as in paper C. Those are the things that you must avoid. You must avoid. Okay, so for those who are doing systematic literature review, first you have to have the research questions. Okay, so he put already what are the research questions. So you can look at the research question and you can manipulate that. Not manipulate. You can apply the table into your domain. And then you have to have inclusion criteria. Okay, because systematic literature review is involved reading papers from the database, whatever database, the IEEE, the ACM, the Science Direct, and so on. So you must say what is actually the inclusion, what you want to include, what you are going to exclude from your study. Okay, so you follow the inclusion and exclusion criteria, and then you have to tell the readers how you select the papers in order to come up with the systematic literature review. So these researchers said that included papers were published. So that means they only read papers from January 2000 until December 2010. So that means even though there are many papers published in the same domain, before the year 2000, they will not read it. And after 2010, they also will not read it. So whatever they said is only applicable for this period. Okay, so you might want to say in the same thing, okay, but in your paper later, if you are carrying the same systematic literature review done by this group, yes, you can. So you said that okay, the previous paper has done from January 2000 until December 2010. This paper, our research will start review from 2011 until 2021, for example. Okay, yes, you can publish that paper by following exactly out of this paper. Why it is publishable? Because they did on that specific range of time, but you focus on different time range, so it is new. Unless they are proposing, unless you found later they have done the same thing, then it is not valid for you. But otherwise, yes, you can do. Okay, so they have for systematic literature review, you have to say what type of what range of paper that you have read, and then what are the keywords used. So if other people wants to publish the same thing but they use different keywords, then it is new. Okay, so the new in conference paper is actually you do something unique, different from others. That is new. Okay, so this is the step. You have to identify the keywords you use, and then you have so those are the keywords they use, and then how many papers they found, and then how many papers they take from that collection, and so on. Okay, so they tell the justification why they took the paper and why they rejected a paper. And then those are the steps, table 3, whatever. Okay, and then, okay, the conclusion. Where is the conclusion for section 2? Mana section 2? Is that just a little bit because
Are you referring to something?
yeah, I want to know at the end what they said about this section. Okay.
Betul. Slide tu dekat sekarang ni currently you are showing only the slide, not the anatomy.
Yeah.
We only can see your slide.
Oh.
Ah.
Oh. That's why I asked you just now, can you see this? Okay. I stop sharing. Oh, jadi kenalah start balik ya. Okay. I'm showing you the paper. Okay. Dah separuh
Okay,
dah.
baru nampak.
Dah separuh dah nearly the end of the paper. Okay, this is what I said the introduction yang saya kata tadi kan. Start with the systematic literature review aims to what? Okay, because this is the title. Okay, so the objective of what you want to say about your literature review, systematic literature review, and then these are the uniqueness of your literature review. What are the parameters? I said at least you have one in your paper is okay because you are coursework student. Okay, but this person do how many parameters? 4 parameters in order to find the uniqueness of fault prediction models. Okay, and then these are the research questions. Before they starting search all the literature review, they have the research questions. Okay, so this is the methodology that I'm talking about. Okay, so if you are doing systematic literature review, so you can follow this. Okay, methodology. This is what I said. They refer this method from Kitchenham and Charters. That's why in your methodology in last semester, I said, where did you get this methodology? And most of you said, I do it myself. No, in scientific writing, you have to have some methodology that you refer to different scientists. Okay, but it's okay if you say half of it you follow from one research. However, you add 2 more steps to adapt with your domain. Then it's okay. It is not 100% totally new from yours. Okay, what I said just now is that, okay, these people, this research in this paper, the authors of this paper, refer the methodology from Kitchenham and Charters. Okay, let's say you are doing your literature review. Okay, what happened? What do you want to say? Are you saying that, okay, we follow methodology from Kitchenham and Charters? That is what I said just now. It is primary, secondary citation. That means you found Kitchenham and Charters from this paper. You are not reading Kitchenham Charters, so you must avoid in your project in your project report or in this scientific writing. You can follow Kitchenham and Charters if you search their paper and then you read and then you can follow. Otherwise, how to use this methodology so that you have citation for your methodology? So when your examiner asks you from which research you follow that methodology, okay, so you said, okay, from this paper. Whose paper? This paper. This David Gray and Steve Council, like whatever. So you can put in your reference. You said you are following this person, this research paper. And if the examiner is, if another scientist go to that paper, they can see that that person also refer to somebody else. Okay, so that is like a sanad in hadis lah. Okay, so in scientific writing pun you have to have those sanad so that it is true. Okay, so can you use this methodology? Yes. Can you cite Kitchenham and Charters like this person? No. If you didn't find that paper and read that paper. So, how and then you follow the methodology. Okay, so for everybody that wants to do the systematic literature review, a systematic literature review is for finding gaps. You want to produce a paper that show the gap in your domain of whatever. So you can use systematic literature review and follow these steps. 2.1, 2.2. 2.1, you have to have research question. How to formulate your research question in this table. Okay. And then you have the inclusion criteria. Okay, what are the inclusion criteria that you can implement in your paper? So refer to table 2 and read. Okay, and then identification of the papers. This is what I said. They are doing from January 2000 until December 2010. Okay, can you do the same domain and so on, only different time range? Yes, it is considered as new contribution. Okay, so that people can compare by your paper and this person paper, are they similar or not? What is a difference after the range, the time range and so on. Okay, so you follow how to identify the papers. You follow step 1, search, blah, 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 blah. Step 2, step 3, step 4, and then you produce a paper and so on. So the conclusion, okay, just now I'm scrolling just now to find this conclusion. Which conclusion? Okay, this. Can you see I highlighted? Oh. Can you see the highlighted section?
Yes, Doctor.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so at the end of your section methodology, you can write that one. Okay. Okay, this is the selection criteria. Okay, so then okay, assessing the suitability of papers for synthesis. Okay, then after you select, then you want to narrow down. Okay, then you follow this. Okay, for your paper, everything must be written in section 3. So for this paper, they did section 2 and section 3, but yours, you can combine section 2 and section 3. Okay, so at the end, what they get? Okay, applying blah 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 blah. You might not produce this type of the length of the paper. Remember, this is a journal. Is a journal. 21 pages, 29 pages. So if you see the explanation is too long and so on, don't be afraid because this is a journal paper. So how you want to convert to your conference paper, 6 pages only? So that means your explanation is shorter. But all the sections must be included. Okay, do you understand? Okay, for those who are doing the systematic literature review. So that's why when you see when you listen to Prof. Liza last time, she said about this paper, this systematic literature review. And for those who wants to start research, normally they are looking for this systematic literature review because that is the easiest way to understand everything. Okay. Okay. So this is the method for systematic literature review. So how you want to apply in your paper? I repeat again. Based on this methodology from this paper, yes, you can follow. But the section for systematic literature review is actually section 2 and section 3. In your paper, you combine. Okay, you combine and become section 3. Because in our paper, introduction is section 1. Related research or research background is in chapter is section 2, and section 3 is methodology. So in your methodology, if you are doing systematic literature review, you can combine from this paper the method from section 2 and section 3 becomes your section 3. Okay, clear? You clear? Clear, okay. Now we move to different type of methodology.
Doctor, anyway, how many people do we need to read for systematic literature review?
How many? Depending on the confidence level, on your confidence level. If you read many papers, yeah.
Is there any minimum?
The minimum is the one that reach your confidence level. So that means how to reach that? How do you know that reach confidence level? So for example, you have found let's say three similar results from three similar insights from those papers, and you keep on reading. They give the same thing. You can cluster into that. Okay, so that means you don't need to read more. Enough. Because you found that whatever you read right now, the number of pages actually can cover most of the knowledge. Macam tu. until you reach the confidence level. Confidence level, that means you cover lah your what you want to say tu. Okay, but for conference paper, because it is 6 pages only, so maybe around 20, around 10 is enough to portray your literature review. For that purpose only, for the technique.
Okay, doctor. Thank you.
Okay, so I know some of you will do the systematic literature review. Okay, now we move on to the next methodology. Okay, wait, I have
Before that, doctor, kalau if,
Yeah.
for example, we are doing systematic literature review with case study. So
with what? With
case study.
first?
Case study.
I cannot hear clearly. What is?
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Can you type? Can you type?
Okay.
Can you type on the chat?
Sedang type.
Okay. In doing, okay, how many study do I need to prepare? Oh, case study. You can follow. Oh, how many case study?
Ya, betul.
Okay, try to reach 10 case study. Okay, try to take 10 case studies. Okay, then you study all the 10 and then you can conclude that they repeated again. The case study is actually producing the same results. Then I think the 10 can be used. Okay, because case study is not like reading paper because it involves for example experiments and so on. Okay, so if you can conclude, can generalize some insights based on the 10 studies, then 10 studies is okay. So you have that's why I said you have to reach that confidence level to say something, and maybe with the help of your supervisor, you can say that, because anyway your supervisor should contribute something to the paper and yes, to mold your knowledge. Okay. So
Ya, betul. Thank you.
your title is not systematic literature review on case study. Boleh jugalah systematic on literature review. For instead of techniques, you said case study in whatever. What is your domain?
Maybe software architecture.
Yes, in software architecture. Your case studies in software architecture. So it can be your title. So that means you are similar to the approach is similar to systematic literature review lah. That is your methodology. Okay, you try to get the structure of the methodology and then you try to fill in that structure. Okay, make sure the methodology is not like as long as the paper that I showed just now, because that is from journal. Maybe you have to write in concise. For example, for one section maybe just 2 paragraphs and so on. Okay, if it is too short, okay, you have only 1 paragraph to describe one section, for example, one thing. Do not put section 2.1 with only 1 paragraph. That's the comment that I gave last time. It is too short to stand on its own. So instead of putting the 2.1, 2.3 and so on, you just describe in 1 paragraph. Okay, the first stage you do this, the next stage you do this, and so on. It can be in just 1 paragraph to say most of the thing. Okay, so your section 3 is inclusive of many paragraphs, not many subsection in it. Do you get that?
Yes, betul.
Okay. Okay, so don't be intimidated by the number of pages in that paper. Okay, so now I want to share you the methodology for. Okay, this one is if you have algorithms, you want to compare the results, the performance. This is the way to write. Okay, so this is can be skeleton for your title. So comparison of what? Comparison of bird selection algorithms. And then you put empirical results. Empirical results means you want in this paper you want to present results of your experiments. Okay, so it can be the titles. Okay, so in this class also you can get what type of title. Remember the title of the paper, now you can see it differs from your project, because project is the title for everything, but now it's just a part of it. Okay, this focus on algorithms only, for example. So your paper can look like this, the title. Okay. Okay, so read how this is the methodology. Okay. This is all in metric performance and so on. I want to show the methodology part. Okay. This is your section 3. Okay. So okay, this writer does not write much. So for me it is quite wrong. Okay. So you can say in your section section 3 methodology. Okay. So what you write under that section, you write this section will present comparison of different whatever algorithm blah 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 blah, and we compare 8 algorithms on whatever test function or whatever, because you know your algorithm, you know you have to have a test function, I don't know, the AI part. Okay, so you put step 1 is for 1, 2, 3 whatever you do, for whatever you test on the algorithms to compare. Okay, so this is the methodology. So test function, whatever population, blah 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 blah. You know how to this one. Okay. So very simple methodology for comparison of algorithms or comparison of techniques, for example. Okay. Maybe for the use case. You can use this one. You can use this approach. You said in this section we want to compare 10 test cases, for example, use case. In terms of what? In terms of this 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this one is more for you.
Okay, Doctor.
Instead of that systematic literature review is to find the theoretical part. the theoretical concept of to justify your research work. But this one is the practical. Okay, because you want to compare the use case and so on, you can you can follow this methodology. Tapi you compare ke tak?
Compare.
You akan compare which one is better ke apa? Ke
Maybe
you
based on
more towards theoretical? Kalau more towards theoretical, then you go back to theoretical, then get to systematic literature review.
okay.
For this one, you have to have result lah, because you compare based on this criteria, you want to compare and you have the result. Okay, so sebab tu dia punya ni ada simulation results. This one is suitable if you have many algorithms, you want to find the most suitable algorithms for your project. Then you can follow this methodology. Okay.
Okay,
This one is simple. Okay, I don't know who will use this, but if you are choosing to present your paper in this, I think the methodology is quite simple. Okay, now I want to show the next one. Some of you wants to present architecture of your system. Okay, so I found a paper that you can see the how it presents the architecture. Okay, so we go straight to the methodology. So it goes here. Okay, this dia ada dah section 2 research methodology, but for you is section 3. Okay, you see how it display all the research methodology, the detailed description. Okay, so like the previous example, your section 3 is actually section 2 and section 3 in here. Okay, and then you ada 4 lagi, 4. Okay, all under methodology. How do you know under methodology? Because methodology until you get the paper ni ikut tak tahu format mana, related work is at the end. Okay, but related work in your paper is in section 2. Okay, so this is architecture. Dia ada sampai dia tak ada results. Tak ada analysis in terms of the architecture only. So this, if you want to show architecture, it is you compress this section 2, 3, 4 sampai 5. Then you describe your architecture. It's about justifying your architecture. But if you want to present your architecture also, you can follow the systematic literature review. You said you have searched the paper architecture for this domain and so on. You found how many papers. You can follow the methodology from systematic literature review just now. Okay. So now is the 3 types of methodology that you can follow. Okay. But this one, the architecture that they propose in here, okay, very technical. Okay, so that's why I describe, even though it is only 7 pages, this is a conference paper. Okay, but the way it talk about the architecture, you see, they put in different section, but for you, everything is in section 3. Okay, and maybe the finding of the architecture maybe untuk test and untuk because we have section result and analysis, so that's why you skip the result analysis, because you don't have result analysis unless you test the feasibility of your architecture, then you can have results and analysis section. Okay, so okay, how many people are doing architecture? I think your architecture, if you want to develop new architecture, that means you want to study people before this. Okay, macam siapa yang buat HTML tu ada kat sini? Ada siapa yang buat video? Okay, maybe you are doing this type of literature review, of apa methodology.
Maksudnya ada dia punya metodologi ni and plus the result sekali kata.
You ada result tak?
Plan ni ada result.
You ada result?
Plan ni nak ada result.
Because I think it's quite different, quite difficult to explain things kan. I think you more to have the normal structure that we do systematic literature review, and then you found your specific architecture, then you test the architecture. Okay, you can follow the systematic literature review.
Okay.
Or the system development just now. Apa yang satu lagi apa? Bukan. Do you want to compare between the HTML and so on?
Tak ada. Tak
Tak compare. You just want to test and see the result. So you more towards the systematic literature review.
Saya try nak move another markup language to HTML.
Then you buat satu je lah kan, tapi you nak try whether it is feasible or not. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay,
betul.
so you are more towards systematic literature review. Okay. Okay, now I think this methodology is suitable for most of you. You can select one. Depending on what you want to show in your paper. Okay, so who still have trouble which methodology to follow, then you can ask me. Okay, let us see what is suitable methodology for you. That you have some skeleton to follow, then what you have to do is put the skeleton on section 3. Then you start putting your things inside that. Then you akan cukup section 3. Okay, just like siapa yang dah buat the task for literature review but put in our punya paper format. Nazim ke yang buat? You submitted literature review task with the IEEE format. Saya rasa Nazim. Kalau tak Nazim, Bob ke? Saya rasa Nazim kot. Ke Bob?
Bukan Bob.
Nazim.
Saya tak buat.
So dia dah buat section 2 last time and put exactly like our format, IEEE format. Then you continue section 3. Now, why it is better to put in your literature?
Yes, Doctor.
You can, okay. Saya remember the one per student je yang put in the format. So if you put in the right format, the final format, so you can keep hard clam sebab you dah penuh dah section 2 and then now you putting section 3 and then see how many pages. Okay, and then at least you nampak dah your half of your final project final output is way. Okay, instead of you tak letak in the right format, you still thinking, cukup ke apa yang saya buat ni, cukup ke, how many pages? Then you keep on asking that. Instead of you keep on asking to yourself like that and make your life miserable, you put everything in its order and see, okay, and see the final product when you adding something. Writing paper cannot be done last minute. It is a slow process. Sometimes you can write only 2 sentences per day, and the next day you add 5 more sentences. Yes, that is okay. That is how I write my book. That is how I write a paper. Okay, cannot be. I said to myself, I want to finish this paper today. No, you cannot do that because ilham, you cannot know which part of time you will get the idea to write. Okay, is there any question? Siapa dah start doing something? I think for today, if you didn't put in the right format, you convert whatever you have last time, put in the right format, and then maybe you can start imagining your title. You put the title, you can put the author, you can put the abstract, leave to the last, you can put the introduction, then now you can see you are progressing on section 3. Okay, so it makes you happy because you can see the progress based on your paper. Ada siapa nak tanya? Kalau tak ada, this is the end of the class. Okay, so every week from now on, okay, no real time class. I just want to see your progress. Okay, maybe I don't know how to report. Maybe I can get your screen capture ke apa-apa, but more towards on monitoring your progress in writing and so on. Okay, because all the knowledge for writing, introduction, for writing LR, for writing the methodology, the most difficult part maybe for you because you don't know the skeleton, you are confusing with the skeleton of the methodology for your project. Now everything is settled. Okay, so you keep on writing by yourself. Okay, however, every week from now on, I will get the screen capture so that you can show me your progress. I know you are progressing. Instead of everybody, kalau saya tak tanya, nanti saya tak tahu how much you progress. Okay, so my advice is the time that we didn't meet at real time, you can proceed with writing. Use the time to write. Okay, or in case you said to yourself you cannot write during this hour, 3 to 6 is not suitable, you switch something that you can do at this hour, and then you take that suitable hour to write. Okay, so it's up to you to organize your time, as long as you do it every week. Okay, 6 pages is not too hard to get, not like the 30 pages last time, like last semester. Okay, any question?
Doktor nanti akan sharekan sampel tadi.
Nanti saya akan tunjuk, saya akan send dalam WhatsApp group. So that you have a skeleton to follow.
Alright, thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, no question. Can we end? Tak ada. Can we end the class now? Okay.
Doktor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I will.
Thank you, Doktor.
Okay.
Doktor.
Okay, doktor. Okay, doktor.
Thank you so much,
Okay,
Doktor.
Doktor.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you.